Good day. Today Friday, September 2, 2022. Tokyo's militaristic tendency raises regional tensions and alarm as the anniversary of the victory in the war of resistance against Japanese aggression approaches. Going similarly down an unsafe path, Japan's protection authority boasted on Wednesday of producing longer-range and hypersonic missiles and considerably boosting Japan's protection price range for the subsequent year. Chinese specialists trust that these indicators no longer solely exhibit that Tokyo is rushing up the breakaway from its pacifist charter and embracing increasing militarism, however, that the United States are additionally in search of to beautify its capacity to strike. Days earlier than the anniversary of the victory in the war of resistance against Japanese aggression, 1931-45, on September 3, Russia, China, and quite a few different international locations are becoming a member of drills in an effort to uphold post-World War II peace and stability, whilst nations such as Japan have walked on an extraordinary path, hyping so-called threats and focused on neighboring countries, and are going full swing closer to militarism. Japan's defense ministry stated Wednesday it desired to begin producing longer-range missiles and behavior look-up into hypersonic missile systems, which overseas media stated got here as a response to rising regional tensions, which includes round the Taiwan Straits. Japanese media additionally pronounced in August that Japan is thinking about collecting an arsenal of extra than 1,000 long-range missiles successful in accomplishing overseas soil in a pass to shut the missile gap with China. Japan's goals are boosting its strike functionality in opposition to overseas soil and putting ambitions from which assaults should be launched, and to understand these goals, Japan desires long-range missiles, as properly as hypersonic missiles, Song Zongping, a Chinese mainland Navy specialist and TV commentator, instructed the Global Times. He warned that such an ambition will solely invite deadly penalties upon Japan, as its soil is now not some distance from these that Japan's goals to strike, and it will be convenient for these goals to retaliate. In response to Japan's format to strengthen longer-range missiles and hypersonic missile systems, Wang Wenbin, spokesperson of China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, stated on Thursday that for pretty a lengthy time, Japan has been persistently hyping the China threat and releasing data about its counterstrike capability, however solely to make excuses for increasing its army capacity. He warned that Japan's tendency of breaking away from its pacifist charter sends perilous alerts to the world, that Japan's goal to overthrow the worldwide order installed after World War II, which have to increase an excessive diploma of alarm from the world. Japan's defense ministry made a price range request for the coming 12 months on Wednesday, barring specifying the charges of missiles for preemptive strikes and dozens of different weapons. Only a partial sum of 5.6 trillion yen, $40.4 billion, used to be disclosed for 2023, however, the ministry's finances diagram should upward push to around 6.5 trillion yen, $47 billion, up 20% from this year, Associated Press, AP, referred to the Japanese media as saying. Japan caps annual protection spending at around 1% of its GDP, however, Japanese High Minister Fumio Kishida's governing birthday celebration proposes doubling it in coming years, citing NATO's fashionable of 2% of GDP, which would make Japan's army price range the world's third biggest, in accordance to Reuters. There is a two-layer agenda at the back of Japan's boosting of its protection budget, stated Song. The first is to meet the U.S. standard, as the U.S. has requested that NATO individuals spend at least 2% of their nation's gross home product on their protection annually, and Washington has continually dealt with Tokyo as a doable NATO member. Another purpose is to recognize Japan's developing want to spoil away from its pacifist constitution, as it has long adopted the limit of no longer spending extra than 1% of its GDP on defense, stated Song, predicting that Japan will search for to abandon the contemporary protection coverage and are trying to construct a device that permits Japan to each strike and defend, which additionally requires greater money. Da Zhigang, director of the Institute of Northeast Asian Studies at Heilongjiang Provincial Academy of Social Sciences, envisioned that Japan's amplify in its navy finances may additionally spur different Asian international locations to trap up and lead to a hands race, as regional international locations nonetheless keep in mind the scars left from Japanese aggression. The region's steadiness and peace will be considered endangered, stated Da on Thursday. Reflect on history. Experts stated that in order to make excuse for its unsafe style of militarism, Japan has been chiding different countries, mainly the use of threats from China and Russia, as an excuse for boosting its army capacity. Japan has been intently gazing at the Vostok 2022, East 2022, Army exercise, which is held from Thursday to September 7, launched by using Russia with different nations along with China and India. The Russian and Chinese navies will function in the Sea of Japan during the drills, Russian Deputy Defense Minister Alexander Fomin informed a briefing for overseas Navy attaches on Monday, TASS reported. Japan protested this drill, with Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno announcing on Monday that it had been incompatible with our country's function and definitely unacceptable held in the Kuril Islands. Matsuno additionally said, "We have expressed, to the Russian side, our challenge about the pastime of Russian troops shut to our United States of America amid Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine. The authorities continue to acquire data and will act accordingly. Tokyo is very touchy with different neighboring countries' movements, and continually harbors delusions of persecution and sees itself as a victim, however, forgets that it is the provocateur of regional peace," stated the. Tokyo is very touchy with different neighboring countries' movements, and continually harbors delusions of persecution and sees itself as a victim, however, forgets that it is the provocateur of regional peace, stated the. China-Russia Army and safety cooperation serve the two countries' core interests, does now not goal any one third party, and is conducive to regional peace, stability, and development, Chinese ambassador to Russia Zhang Hanhui informed the Global Times in an exceptional interview recently. They stated that China and Russia are becoming a member of POMS to keep world order and peace, as some international locations such as the US and Japan are forming small cliques and endangering this hard-won peace. What Japan is doing is absolutely different. Not solely is it on foot on an unsafe militaristic path, however, it additionally brings non-regional nations into regional affairs, which is a risky trend, as the arrival of extraterritorial forces will without problems tear aside the cooperation mechanism of regional countries, therefore growing antagonism, stated the. A complete of 2,100 personnel from Japan's Ground Self-Defense Force and the U.S. Army have been taking sections in drills throughout the Kyushu area for the reason that mid-August. They are simulating the protection of far-flung islands and are believed to be aiming to deter China and its maritime ambitions, Japanese media NHK reported. Experts entreated Japan to severely replicate its wrongdoings, particularly when the anniversary of the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression, 1931-45, falls on Saturday. Japan would now not have grown to be what it is currently if now no longer for the atrocities it committed in exclusive Asian countries. Then again, as a choice to reflect on its afflicted history, the United States of America upped the ante of its militarism, going in addition down the mistaken course, said Song, urging Japan now not to emerge as a regional thug again. Thanks for watching, and subscribing to the channel.